From overall, I would say if I was to do a head-to-head comparison between Microsoft CRM and Salesforce, I would say that I prefer Microsoft CRM when it comes to an integration standpoint. Even with that, I'll say that Salesforce has a good API, a good integration as well. So I don't want to downplay it too much, but I'm just, if I wanted to do a head-to-head between the two, that's what I would say. I think Salesforce, for an end user standpoint, is easy to use. I think it's you don't really have to do a lot of training. There's some pretty neat customizations you can do. It allows you to do a lot behind the scenes as well, so that it makes it easier for the end users. So I think from a ease of use standpoint, you can really make it easy for end users. That's probably what I've always enjoyed from an end user standpoint. I mentioned the API, so I prefer there's a few, Salesforce could do some work on their API. They could actually improve some items on the API, like merging accounts and contacts and other entities. So that could be an improvement. But as far as the rest, I would say one other piece that I'm doing a comparison, but to Microsoft CRM, if I wanted to do a quick find, like they call it an advanced search or advanced find, whatever you want to call it, and it's a little more difficult or cumbersome, I should say, in Salesforce. But otherwise, it's just as you can get there, but it's just not quite as easy as what I would expect in Microsoft CRM. Yeah, I think it's definitely a front runner, and I would say personally from a standpoint of API usage integration, tying into other systems, I prefer Microsoft CRM, as I mentioned. At the same time, I'll say that Salesforce has done an amazing job of tying their product into many other solutions with their Salesforce App Exchange and a few other areas and partners and et cetera, I feel like they've done an amazing job. So I would say those are the two front runners in my mind. If I was to choose one for a company, it would most likely be I'd be looking for one of those two. So Salesforce is still an amazing product. That's a good question. 1 to 10. I'd probably put CRM at probably a 9. I don't think anything's perfect, so I'll give Microsoft CRM a 9, and probably give Salesforce an 8 to 8.5, and because they're pretty close. I think they're the two that you need to be looking at.